Today we're faced with a huge plague and global epidemic commonly known to the enlightened as mental slavery. Some of you people may have heard the term, some of you not. Now, hearing the term is one thing, but understanding the term, its origins and objectives is completely another. Understanding, combating, and never falling victim to mental slavery is what truly makes you amongst the enlightened. Now, ask me, what is mental slavery and the biggest tool used to enslave the mind? Well, mental slavery is when your mind is conditioned to think and believe in a certain way without any resistance, doubts, or debates arising from your conscience, presenting a sense of normalcy and acceptance to everyday life when in fact there is a lot in today's world that should be refuted, fought against, and brought to the light. But yet, the masses are still sleeping. While falling deeper into mental slavery, the shackles are getting tighter every day. Now ask me another question. How is this being achieved? One word. Distraction, ladies and gentlemen. Distraction. The masses believe that they're living a normal life, but in reality they're just mentally enslaved and distracted from the horrific irregularities occurring in our own backyards, as well as the everyday injustices taking place globally. Now that I gave you a brief understanding about mental slavery,
mental slavery, mental slavery, mental slavery.
You see that? If you listen to me say mental slavery enough times, I bet my life that you'd be repeating it at the most random moments of your day without thinking much of why you're repeating it. Keep that in mind while I continue. Let's talk about the tools they use in order to capture the minds of the common people. That includes the kids, the teenagers, the grown folks, the elderly. Everybody is spellbound. Now I'm sure you're wondering who they are. They are the elite. I'm not saying Illuminati, Freemasons, or any other known organizations. I'll leave that to your imagination. However, we can probably all agree that there is an elite organization that wants to control the world and its people. But how? What are the tools that they've created, are creating, and use to turn us into the walking dead? Let's start with a huge one, entertainment. Most people think that movies, cartoons, dramas were created just for entertainment purposes. They're sadly mistaken and have been terribly fooled. It never was created for that purpose. The most influential messages are promoted and embedded in our minds through these various forms of film. The type of process and the way it affects our minds has an actual term called emotive sequences. So the word emotive basically means something that arouses intense feeling or something directed towards the emotions. Now, when watching fictional movies in particular, emotional sequences are being exposed to you, which then begin to be implanted in the mind. While watching a movie, your mental guard is down, relaxed, and in an alpha state, which only leaves room for your brain to absorb the content being pushed. It's not like entering a debate where you're set to agree or disagree. In other words, your brain is set to only download, 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 download the content being fed. Again, this occurs when your brain is in alpha state, leaving your mind vulnerable. I would like to take you back to the Colosseum, which was commissioned around 70 to 72 AD by Emperor Vespasian of the Flavian dynasty as a gift to the Roman people. A gift. If you ask me, it was a disease given to the Roman people. A disease that gradually became one of the elite's most effective mind control strategies. Over the centuries, up until this very day, this strategy has only been improved and perfected to the T. Please believe that there is a meticulous and carefully orchestrated science behind this in order to mask the injustice of a people, as well as prevent an uprising against leaders when the people questioned or objected to their policies. These leaders created distraction, such as the Colosseum, where gory and fatal man-to-man combat took place, as well as animal fights with the same outcome, along with other forms of distraction. Entertainment. 50,000 people watched and were distracted, but they called this entertainment. As I said earlier, distraction is a key method for enslaving the mind. And these days, we call it sports, which is another form of entertainment broadcasted and publicized on television and on every social media outlet in existence. Distraction from what, you may ask? From harsh realities of life such as oppression, poverty, government-perpetuated crime, the building of excess jails and prisons for capital gain, unjust wars to gain control of natural resources, subjection to poisonous foods and water creating diseases that only lead us to an early grave, or the heroin opiate epidemic that is destroying our youth on an international scale. Almost forgot a good one. The extraction and violation of our constitutional rights. The tragic stories of our children being sent to foreign lands and coming back in caskets, some not even fortunate enough to be brought back for a proper burial, all due to the government's projection of false pretense and propaganda campaigns. Headlines read, "God bless America and our troops. They're protecting our land." How patriotic they make it sound. If the troops and parents truly knew that their children were being deployed to foreign lands for the elite's personal gain and world domination, there would be a lot less casualties, heartache, and military enlistments all in all.
My name is Daryl Anderson. I served in Baghdad, Iraq from January 04 to July 04. But I'll start it off with my progression in Iraq. It started with 9/11 because that's what led to the war. Like Dennis was saying, that's what fueled the fire. That's the big part of the lie that led to the lies I witnessed in Iraq. I didn't know it would come to affect me one day. But I also knew about the Desert Storm guys who became terrorists. But all of a sudden in Kentucky, because there was some brown people in Kentucky were looking at me like I was a terrorist. Because I'm dark. I can grow a beard, and I'm not as white as many as you people in the room. I'm white, but I'm not that light. So I started to feel a lot of that, like, man, people are, they're worried about, they're going to hit Fort Knox in Kentucky. And I'm thinking, this is racism. This is what feeds the fuel that Iraqis are beneath us and we can go kill them because, look, they killed 3,000 innocent people. They don't care about innocent lives. In Desert Storm, we couldn't get into Baghdad because the people heard about the innocent people we killed in the bombings. Now, 3,000 Americans are dead. We don't care how many Iraqis you got to kill. Killing innocent civilians is part of war. And that's what they sent us into Baghdad with. I joined up, month out of training, I arrived in Baghdad, Iraq, January 04. Saddam's been captured. And I get there, and the guys that I'm serving with have been there for 6 months already. They were there in 03. And I go, well, I think it's come out that, these people had nothing to do with 9/11. There was no Iraqi on those planes. We can see around here there's no Al-Qaeda, there's no terrorist syndicates in Baghdad or Iraq. And I asked my buddies, well, we're here to find weapons of mass destruction. And they laughed at me. And I said, well, we're here to help the people. And they laughed at me. And I said, well, what's our mission? What's our goal? I thought we were going to find the people that did 9/11. I thought we were going to get these weapons of mass destruction. I thought we were going to help the people. And they're like, all we're trying to do is make it home alive. And then I'm going to lead you in now to the other lies, because you guys know the lies, but I bled for these lies. I watched my brothers die for these lies. People had lost people in 9/11. 1, 2, family. I lost many of my friends and brothers. And I lost part of me for the stuff I did in Iraq. And then we go to January, February, March. Nothing's happening. And then Bush gives his speech about bring it on. And in April of 04, we lost 135 soldiers for this lie, for his lies, for his swaggers being from Texas or whatever. And the more soldiers we lost, the more our procedures changed, which leads into escalation. 9/11, we can go kill people now. We lost 135 guys. We can kill people now. We were ordered and fired upon, hunker down, radio, wait for orders to return fire. In April, they told us in a crowded area, if one person shoots at you, kill everybody. Because they're letting them attack you. They are no longer innocent if they're there at the time of the crime. Sounds like American rules. If your buddy commits a crime, you're there, you can get caught up on charges on it. But these aren't charges. These are death. We're killing people because they're there when someone else attacked us. Because we believe that if we kill enough innocent people, they'll stop the people from attacking us. But what they don't realize is the innocent people we killed, it was their brother, it was their uncle that was trying to kill us because we already killed his 3 children. You roll into Baghdad, every single big apartment building is blown up. Every single apartment building in Baghdad has been broken to the ground by artillery and airplanes bombing. You cannot meet someone in Iraq who has not lost a family member. Could you imagine what we had done in America if in 9/11 everybody in America lost a family member, what would we be doing? Would we be talking about war? No, we'd be in the streets with weapons. And so people talk about, oh, these people killing American soldiers in Iraq, they're terrorists. Not terrorists, they're wearing sandals. And they got an AK. And they got 14-year-old boys building bombs to kill these American soldiers because we've killed their family. So we're done in Baghdad. We killed enough people. I was ordered to kill innocent people. We killed innocent people. When they shot at us, we shot at everybody. We were done, you know. Every guy I served with was against the war. We believed 9/11 was a lie. This is in 2004. Every soldier served us believed 9/11 was a lie. We thought the people would expose the lie, know the war's a lie, and bring us home. I got friends that are there in Baghdad in 2007 on their third tour, 3 years in Iraq. And we're talking about it still when people are dying. We go down to Najaf on the way out because we get extended. You did a year, you can't go home yet. You got to go to Najaf. And we shoot hundreds of artillery rounds into downtown Najaf. Areas that we couldn't shoot at before because they were religious places. But just like 9/11, the more soldiers they killed, the more we could do. It's all escalation. They've been escalating this war since 1990. And now they're finally, with this troop surge, they're going to put soldiers on every street like they're cops because we've escalated. We've let them do it. We've let them do it because we stood by and we've talked about it. We got to hit the streets. You got to stop paying your taxes. You got to stop feeding this fuel. Because if we believe 9/11's a lie, then why are you paying your taxes still? Why are we still letting these soldiers die? And me, as now, I won't even talk to politicians about the war because there ain't no point in it. Democrat, Republican, they're all profiteers of war. Even lots of anti-war organizations are profiting off my brother's pain. You know, no Iraq veterans are getting paid off this war. No, we're all just sitting in the street homeless. I've helped 5 AWOL soldiers in the US since I've been back. Well, I spent 2 years in Canada because I refused to go on my second deployment. I came back, I got kicked out of the military. So that's why I'm here. I'm a resistor. Because we're tired of waiting. We're tired of waiting for the politicians to stop the war. We're not going back for that third tour. I've been helping 5 AWOL soldiers in the United States. And no one's helping me help them. No anti-war organization, no one has helped me help these people. I'm digging money out of my broke pockets to help these people get off the street. And that's why I'm here today is because, you know, if you believe 9/11 is a lie like I do and all these soldiers going AWOL, you got to help the GI resistance. Because we're going to stop the war. No one else is going to stop. You could have 1 million protests, talk to 1 million politicians, expose 9/11, which you got to keep doing. You got to keep exposing 9/11, but that's not going to stop the war. Because everybody in America pretty much knows it. Everyone in the anti-war movement knows it. They won't talk about it because they're scared of the bad publicity that comes with it. But I don't care. I'm a resistor. You know, the movement wouldn't even touch me because I was AWOL. So I'll say how it is. 9/11 was a lie. I know it. We're soldiers. We know it. So now I'm helping GI resistance. And that's what you got to do. You got to focus on 9/11. But like Dennis saying, you got to keep hurling, pushing stuff. There's 10,000 AWOL soldiers in the U.S. right now. There's a couple hundred in Canada, and they're starving. And we're dying because we believe what you people are telling us. You know, you owe it to us to help us. All these Iraq veterans are dying because no one's helping us get with this PTSD. No one's helping the soldiers. No one's supporting us. They just keep sending us back to war.
You don't believe me? Take it from Bruce Springsteen and listen to the song called Born in the USA. I can go on for days, but will they listen?
Born down in a dead man's town. First kick it took is when I hit the ground. End up like a dog that's been beat too much till you spend half your life just covering up. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. Got in a little hometown jam, so they put a rifle in my hand and they sent me off to Afghanistan to go and kill the yellow man. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. Come back home to the refinery where see the VA man, he says, son, don't you understand? I was born in the USA, born in the USA. I was born in the USA, born in the USA. I had an uncle in Quezon, fighting off them Vietcong. We're now friends, he's all gone. He had a girl there in Saigon. I got a picture of him in her arms, yeah. Born in the USA, we were born in the USA, born in the USA, born in the USA. Down by the penitentiary, by the gas fires of the refinery, I'm 10 years there down the road. I got no place to run, no place to go, yeah. Born in the USA, I was born in the USA, born in the USA, born in the USA, yeah. Born in the USA, I was born in the USA, I was born in the USA. I'm a cool rockin' daddy in the USA.
World domination is underway, ladies and gents. Unless we awake and break those shackles, they occupy us with sports, social media, pornography, music, and so on. Let me give you an example of football fans. Why is it that they know how many yards Tom Brady has thrown a football in his entire career? How many touchdown passes, interceptions? How many rings he's acquired? What high school and college he came from? How many kids he has and who his wife is? How much his contract was worth? But yet they don't know about things like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the war going on in Syria, never heard of the sad story of the Sierra Leone blood diamonds, or even who their own governor is, let alone the laws that are being passed confining them to a realm of ignorance. Hell, Tom Brady doesn't even know they exist. The same thing applies to all different kinds of sport slaves.
Sport slaves. Sport slaves.
Sport slaves.
Forgive me. What I meant to say was sports fans. So what I'm saying is, they're completely consumed and interested in everything that is irrelevant to their essential needs as human beings. Now, let's talk about music for a bit. Mainstream hip-hop culture in particular. One of the most influential and popular genres in the world today. They promote visual and lyrical content that promotes casual sex, selling drugs, abusing prescription pills and cough syrup, gun violence, spending money at strip clubs, buying expensive clothes and cars most of us can't afford. Not to mention the mistreatment and degradation of women. Plastic surgery for bigger asses and breasts, which have a huge influence on naturally beautiful women who feel like they're not beautiful unless they perform the same procedures and become plastic covered, gel filled, video lurking, recording studio dwelling, bubbleheads losing all sight of what really matters. Why do people feel the need to mimic that lifestyle? Why are they living beyond their means, spending savings, being in debt with creditors, living paycheck to paycheck just to keep up with that lifestyle? Women who are giving up their bodies just to say they had sex with a celebrity? If you ask me, it seems like prostitutes have more standards and self-respect for themselves. At least they're putting a value on themselves rather than sleeping with someone free of charge. However, I don't put much blame on them. They're being conditioned, distracted, and hypnotized every day, every hour, every minute.
Every day, every hour, every minute. Every day, every hour, every minute.
The biggest hypnotizing machine in the world today is the internet, social media, which is what people consume themselves with every day, every hour, every minute, right down to the seconds. Just look around you when you're at a social gathering, taking the kids to the park. You'll see the cell phone zombies watching all this ignorance on social media. Sites like WorldStar, where videos of a teenager punching an elderly man in the face which then leaves him in a coma for a few days or getting millions of views. This is what the masses are being subjected to and conditioned to believe it as entertainment. Hell, you're even on social media watching this video, but at least I'm feeding you genuine substance and raw, uncut truth. One of the huge issues about this plague we're facing is that our children are being exposed and attached to this lifestyle, then brainwashed not only to believe that this way of life is normal, but they begin to act out this type of behavior. Makes you wonder why America has the highest imprisonment rate in the world. Girls on social media almost completely naked, chasing likes on Instagram in hopes of getting famous, which that behavior then trickles down to the female viewers. Younger teenage girls as well, and even younger than that, where they start to expose themselves in public, gaining the feeling of fitting in and following the trend. Then we wonder why America has one of the highest rape rates in the world. Along with all this, promiscuity is also a trending wave for females. Then we wonder why America has one of the highest divorce rates in the world. They're breeding a generation of pretentious, soulless, shallow, brainless zombies. Imagine a world filled with people of the opposite nature. A world breeding our children to enlightenment and truth. Everyone would equally be elite.